Hey, my name is Ike here. I'm here with another video today. I'm here to talk about my time I was in isolation as me as a believer young. When I first came to faith with God, I was in a situation, I was in growing up. I realized a whole lot I realized. I realized me being young and so much of dealing with rejection. And I never realized it was for my protection. Never realized it though, but as a young, I tried to fit in, really tried to fit in, and couldn't fit in. It's supposed to be separated from apart. That's supposed to mean to be chosen. I never knew it like that, but I tried so very hard to try to fit in. I couldn't fit in, and couldn't figure out what was going on. It wasn't until when I got into high school, and I was going through a situation of me trying to be funny, but people laugh, but it always felt kind of strange as nobody kind of took it to a certain situation of, hey, this guy's being him, or the case may be. What I mean? They didn't look at it like that. They just looked at it in the sense of, well, hey, this guy, he's just, what I mean? He's funny, but he's not the type of guy like really want to make any jokes or whatnot. They're funny, but low key funny, as I was when I was in high school. But it was fast forward until when I got into at least 11th grade, 10th, 11th, all the way to 12th, and still trying to fit in and whatnot. Couldn't fit in, and I was dealing with a situation of not regret, but asking myself, well, what did I do wrong or whatnot? And it wasn't until somebody said something to me, and I said something back or whatnot, and we got into a little small exchange. I guess you would call it that, a small exchange, and we was already heated up. I was already hot up, mad about something or whatnot with this person undone, and eventually I realized, I say, well, after I got really saved, following my grandmother's death or whatnot, I decided like, hey, I might as well become a villain or whatnot, because that's what Jesus was. He was one of those type of people. Nobody didn't like him or whatnot, and Jesus was very scary. He wasn't this nice all Christian thing as people portray him as. No, he flipped over tables. He went on gambling in the house, and now you got people, in church gambling about a football game. Gambling is the Jaguars gonna win or the Bucks gonna win or whatnot. They're gambling over whether the Hawks are winning or whatnot. I know y'all got no parlays, talking about it in the church or whatnot. That shouldn't be the discussion in church or whatnot. But like I say, it's a false pretense of what people say what Christ is or whatnot. What really was it isn't. I watched the Marcus Rogers video, or what he was talking about with Drewski and whatnot, and it showed the whole truth of what was really going on and whatnot. But in a sense, the modern church is not really ready for what's really going on inside the church with him. Because Jesus, he wasn't the type of person like people say he was. He was a scary dude, and he was already to the point of villain. So he was in his villain mode, and he even know, but he probably already knew it. And mostly rejected him, and he told people the truth, and that was it. And me, I was pretty much the same thing and whatnot. And even my parents would tell me like, you can be brutal. You can be brutal sometimes. And I say, well, why not me being brutal, being candid about what's what, instead of just saying per se, oh, I feel this way or I feel this way. I say, no, let me just tell like how it is. Because if I tell like how it is, it would be more better if I told it like how it is instead of just hiding it, or you know what I mean, or the case may be. So I became that villain, I became that, and I might as well do it, because in the sense of, well, hey, you hated Jesus or whatnot, you hated his teachings, you hated more of I'm separated and I'm working on myself. And even once I got saved or whatnot, it was still I just don't like this kid. No, you don't like the spirit in me. You don't like the spirit, the Holy Spirit that dwells inside me. So once it's already at that point, it's already to a point of, well, hey, you're gonna hate me regardless. So I looked at it in a way of, hey, I'm just gonna do what I need to do and walk on my calling and purpose, and nobody gonna tell me nothing or whatnot. Because if I side with you, you're gonna like me, and if I side with Christ or whatnot, you ain't still gonna like me. So in the sense of, I realize I'm chosen, and I've learned this a whole lot. I was destined for this or whatnot. I was destined to carry the cross, and I really didn't want it to. I guess I was called to be a leader. I really didn't want to lead. I had many plans that failed. The one time I wanted to model, I don't think I ever told the story, but I wanted to model at many times, but it was always, I'm too short or whatnot, I'm not that tall or whatnot, These are scriptures that even talk about that, regarding he doesn't like he rejects the man that's tall. He has rejected him, he says in his word. And That's what it is. Whatnot. He's gonna reject people that are taller, whatnot, because he can't use them. Even he says in his word, he loves to use the things that's the small and the lowly things to vilify the things that are. So, in the sense of whatnot, I'm very glad because the whole thing, I guess, that came out with that P Diddy scandal and the whole thing was going on in Hollywood, people being models and had to do weird stuff. For I'm glad I didn't get involved in that. And I wanted to do pictures of whatnot. I want to see if I can get into that, but I'm very glad I didn't, because then you got people doing that, and you end up trying to take pictures from regular people, weddings and things that sort of. Next, you're doing things on the side you shouldn't be doing. So in a sense, just be glad you're just saying I wasn't a part of things like that. So everything I've known and what I was taught, I looked at it and say, God was saving me through so much things, and I never really realized that it was not. And I'm very thankful of me choosing Him. And at times I even have taken photos of people in church and whatnot, video things, camera things and whatnot, taking pictures of people, even doing videography or whatnot in church and whatnot. So it stands from that point of let the Lord use you, and also don't try to chase other things. And I tried to chase out so many times, chase out the money. It wasn't what the Lord wanted me to do or whatnot, and I kept losing money, and still eventually got saved or whatnot, and had a calling of being a leader. My goal wasn't really want to be a leader. I didn't want to be a leader. I could say I wanted to follow or I wanted to lead. It was just more of a, hey, I want to do something, but not lead or whatnot. And I didn't know what a leader was until the Lord. I walked with the Lord, and the Lord showed me. And it was something that so many people that tried to look up to me, and I didn't know why people looked up to me. I didn't want nobody to look up to me. I really didn't want nobody to do that or whatnot. I just wanted to be me and just be me, be individual, not as what people say in this world or what. I just wanted to be me and be genuinely who I am. But it seems like people look up to me and it's like, well, how did this guy does it or whatnot? And things that's so. I don't want to be like him. I want to be chosen too or whatnot. But sometimes it says in the word, many are called, but few are chosen. So I'll leave you there with this right here today as a lesson. The lesson of walking with Christ or whatnot is that just like Jesus was when you walked on this earth, you accept your calling, accept it as it is. You may not feel like you don't want to do it, but to the point in the end, it'll be worth it in the end. It'll be worth it in the end. And either way, when you get chosen by God, you got to learn to walk away from people and whatnot, and walk away with dignity, respect, and to follow your true calling. Because if you don't or whatnot, you'll be like most people, whatnot, stuck. And not only just that, you can become a villain and wonder why nobody don't like you, whatnot. So even Jesus was rejected or whatnot. He's rejected by most people, whatnot. And the Lord always, if I can remember the verse for it, what He says in His Word when He talks about a specific thing or whatnot, is that like I said before, He chose this thing that's the lowliest things or whatnot, the foolish things of the world to confound those who I think they are wise. He uses folks like that. So, hey, if I were you, I give my life to Christ and I walk in it, because either way, you're not gonna be liked. And even if you go to the side of Jesus, you're gonna be a villain. But what was Jesus? He told the truth, that made him a villain. And everybody that want to be liked by everybody, liked by the world, God looks at it and He said, you're your enemy if you chose the world over me or whatnot. If you go along with the world, you're an enemy of me. So in a sense, it makes sense. So walking with Christ, it became my thing, and I still do it to this day. I rather chose Jesus over everything. He has made my life better. He has made me be an example of a leader and whatnot. And I walk by faith and not by sight. So I as He says in His Word, I never seen the righteous forsaken me, nor my seed begging for bread. I always had something going for me. Even if I wasn't, I was still content. It's so well and whatnot, but the Lord still provided. I want to say thank everybody for this day, and wish y'all a happy morning or happy afternoon, whatever time you're watching this video at. Thank you so much, and have a great day.